know I'm a little late, but welcome back to day 5, part 4, maybe day 6, part 5, something like that. Let's just. It's been a year since the adults in our town disappeared. Kids weren't just dying; they were disappearing too. The missing had doubled. 2 kids were now gone. Both of them part of Gracie's original council, and Gracie herself had somehow managed to build her own little cult. She believed that God had taken her friends, and they had simply followed our parents to heaven. Judgment Day was a new one. The week before, Gracie was screaming about aliens and lights in the sky when I biked past the school, where a concerning number of followers sat in a circle around her. Now she was convinced her friends had been raptured. Cliques had formed around town, which had become noticeable on my bike ride. You can't be cut off from the outside without forming a cult-like group. But hey, we all had our ways of coping with losses we couldn't even register. I had my own group, my fellow delivery kids. We weren't exactly a cult, but we were a family, and we had cute lime green uniforms and caps. The sun was setting when I was starting my night shift, sitting on the barrier, my legs dangling. The sky was a smear of orange and red, and I found myself hypnotized by the dying sunlight illuminating the clouds. I wasn't technically allowed to sit on the barrier. If I fell off, I was donezo, but it was fun to get a peek into the outside world. If I tilted my head at just the right angle, I could see a fully functioning McDonald's in the distance, ironically bathed in a heavenly glow. Below me, the winding road was blocked off with yellow tape, barricades in place. Nathaniel was on my mind. His new job was taking up all his time, but when he was free, he still didn't come home. I told him to request a Zoom appointment with a therapist. The outside world was offering them every week in the library, where there was restricted internet access. But he kept saying he was good. He seemed like it on the outside. On weekends, Nate would act like the annoying older brother he had always been, fighting over the shower and hiding cereal from Sarah and I. But even when he was laughing, his expression didn't match his eyes. I wanted to talk about what happened with him and Tally. Maybe he thought it was his fault she was missing. Sarah had told me to step off for a while, though this had been going on for months. It's like something inside was killing him, eating away at him. And I knew it was what happened inside that hotel suite. Testing. A familiar drawl crackled through my talkie, sticking out my pocket and cutting through my thoughts. Nathaniel was fine, I thought. I was just overreacting. My colleague's voice was a welcome distraction, bleeding into the peaceful silence. The British accent was the icing on the cake. Do they have ramen? I repeat. We are in short supply of ramen. He paused. Especially the carbonara style ones. You know, the ones in the TikTok store. He sighed, his voice immediately bringing up my mood. Ah, yes, TikTok. I miss my daily supply of brain-rotting dopamine. Do you remember those pool-filling videos? They were what made me realize I had undiagnosed ADHD. Jude Lightwood was an unlikely friend. I barely knew him before the quarantine, and now I knew his deepest, darkest secrets he spilled to me during our night shift awaiting our weekly delivery. Jude took the other side of town while I took the main entrance. We spent most of our time talking on the talkies, or in his case, giving me his entire life story. Still though, nothing beats staying up until the early hours of the morning, watching the first flicker of dawn appear in the sky, listening to him half deliriously reenact the entire first season of Breaking Bad from memory. Yes, even with the voices. Low-key, that's impressive. Just a little bit. I missed a delivery once because I was almost on the edge of hysterics, laughing at his Jesse Pinkman impression, which was to a frickin' T. Pulling out my talkie, I pressed a button, swinging my legs in midair. You do know they're MREs, right? I don't think we have a choice. We'll be lucky to get rice and chicken. I paused. Excuse me. We'll be lucky to get rice and chicken. I paused. Also, you don't seem like the type of guy who used to go on TikTok. He wasn't. Before the disaster, Jude spent most of his time in the school library. He was known for his side hustle, selling candy to seniors. He started as a British exchange student who nobody could understand and quickly rose up in the social hierarchy due to his accent. I only knew him from English class when our teachers had asked him what the capital of Australia was, and Jude, half asleep, had responded with, "Huh? New Zealand?" He was officially New Zealand to me until he formally introduced himself on my second day on the job, offering me coffee and spilling it all over himself. Jude scoffed. I enjoyed his presence, even if it was just his voice. I just said I watched pool filling videos, like in a total trance. He laughed, but then his laugh kind of choked up. I could tell he was having a light bulb moment. He had a lot of them. and they were all related to what happened to the town's adults. What if it's like gods? Jude had proclaimed into the whipping wind one morning, the two of us cycling to work. When I twisted around to shoot him a pointed look, he shrugged, cycling harder, reddish dark hair flying in a blur around him. It's probable. Like, what if Zeus is pissed? He's punishing us. Aliens, he said, while we were lifting packages onto the loading bay. I hit him with a package in my hands. Cthulhu? Jude mumbled, half asleep, the two of us labeling envelopes. What if it's microchips in our brains? Jude came out with it through a mouthful of mashed potato during lunch, the two of us laughing on the school roof. His second epiphany of the day. When I shoved him, he laughed. This guy's charming smile made it hard for me to hate him. He came up with these what-ifs to drive me crazy, I swear. His theories stretched all the way to our town somehow being related to the Simpson movie. That's funny. Though this time I caught a certain seriousness in his tone. What if that is what saved us? I pondered his question, watching a bird swoop across the sky. You think TikTok saved us from combusting? No, he laughed. Well, yes. Stay with me here. But adults don't use it much, right? Jude took a deep breath. I could tell he had already jumped to the next tangent. Wait, I can see a group of kids in the town across from us eating Five Guys. My mouth is watering, he groaned. This is torture. I can see the fried onions. I can see the animal-style fries and sauce. Jeez, how good was this sight? For the record, Five Guys does not have animal-style fries, nor sauce. For the record, I can suspend my disbelief, but that's just inaccurate. Do you have binoculars? I couldn't resist a laugh. No. Yes. Maybe. I'm just borrowing them. Jude, I said, shuffling uncomfortably. My butt had gone to sleep. Are you sitting on the barrier? He didn't reply for a moment. That depends. Is a certain Liam Cartwright with you? I spluttered, holding the button down. You think our 17-year-old mayor is checking up on delivery kids? Poor Liam is probably asleep. Oh God, yeah. I could sense him making a face. Our boy is starting to look like a divorced father of 3. That's funny. Jude cleared his throat, and the feedback went right through me. I am sitting on the barrier, by the way. I can see Orion from here. I used to look at constellations with my mom. She had one of those cool ancient telescopes. Something sickly twisted in my gut. Tipping my head back, I searched for the star, though I wasn't sure where I was looking. So you're looking through the tiny hole in the barrier? Mm-hmm, he chuckled. Curse my 20/20 vision. I wanted to get an idea of what normal life is like, and I get hit in the face with burgers. I want Five Guys so bad. I would kill for one. I could hear him adjusting the dial on the talkie. Did you know some people, desperate enough, would kill for takeout? There was a pause, and I heard his slight intake of breath, his shuffling, crackling into interference. I didn't even have to reply. Jude never stopped talking. Don't you think this is kind of cool? Apart from the whole end of the world dystopian, only our town thing? I could see my breath dancing in front of me and zipped up my jacket, responding in a gasp. Freezing our asses off, waiting for mediocre meals? No, like what we're doing. I feel like I'm keeping watch for the undead while my friends, the last survivors of humanity, sleep. Jude snorted. Instead, I'm a glorified Uber Eats delivery guy for a community of kids. You enjoy it, though, I said through a yawn, rubbing my hands together. The early November chill was already seeping into my bones. He responded in a hum. It's aight. Jude sighed, leaving us both in the peaceful silence. How did you get on the barrier, Rhea? His question took me off guard. An ice-cold shiver ran down my spine. What? Well, I have Ben to give me a hand to climb up. Even if he sleeps all the way through his shift, his bulky legs make up for it. But you're alone. So how exactly are you getting up there? He paused, and the shriek of feedback sent me jolting, immediately losing my concentration. Jude laughed, and I couldn't resist twisting around, scanning the empty road behind me. No sign of any life. My radio cackled, and I jumped for the first time in a while. Wait. Jude's tone had significantly darkened. So you're telling me you managed to scale a barrier this high with zero help? For a moment, my tongue was tangled. I stand on crates, I said. Obviously. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I can't see where this story is going at this point, but I'm gonna keep going for a while. Jude hummed. Sounds like bullshit, Rhea. I tightened my grip on my walkie, fingering the off switch. Why do you care? Oh, I don't, he chuckled. I'm just curious how you learned how to climb this high. The silence that followed twisted my gut into knots. I could hear Jude's breathing, and if I really listened out for it, the late evening traffic coming through the town over the barrier. Jude surprised me with a laugh. I'm just messing with you, Rhea. The night shift goes to my head, you know. I gotta find new ways to bantering with you. Sure, I said, but my chest was clenching. Oh, shit. I think my delivery is here. I gotta go before they spot me on the barrier, he panted. Over and out, or whatever you're supposed to say. Switching off the talkie, and cutting off his farewell, a fresh slither crept down my spine. My delivery soon came after. 5,000 MREs. I tore into the first one, unable to help myself, but Jude's words were still in my mind, making me paranoid. Paranoia made me desperate. Being desperate made me remember how hungry I was. I was shuffling handfuls of cold rice and chicken into my mouth when the sour-faced man helped me unload the shipment, cleared his throat. You're supposed to microwave it, sweetheart. I ignored him. Is this it? I said through a mouthful of mush. Mush had never tasted so fucking good. No snacks? He threw me a crushed Milky Way, making sure to keep his distance. There's a snack. Knock yourself out. After spending all night delivering MREs to locked doors that were normally open and welcoming, I finally reached home with 3 ready to eat. I had picked the best ones for my family. Chili for Nathaniel, chicken and noodles for Sarah, and fried rice for me. When I opened the door, I was greeted to soft snores, my little sister sleeping on the couch, and Nathaniel wrapped up in the blanket on the floor. I pulled my food out of the package, threw it in the microwave, and then collapsed on the floor next to my brother. I was so tired. So fucking tired. I could barely move my legs. What did Jude say again? How exactly did you get onto the barrier, Rhea? We're going to stop there. I don't know what's going on with this story at this point, but that's where we'll stop. So, until next time, peace.